What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners for today's 5-game NBA main slate, courtesy of Awesemo.com and presented by SuperDraft. It's a shorter than usual Friday slate with some news that's changing things as I'm producing the video, so you know we're going to have a good time today in the Four Corners. So let's get that power of positivity in the air, and right now, please hit that like button if you want to win a free month of Awesemo Plus courtesy of SuperDraft. Like this video and comment your top value play according to Draftkings salaries down below. Yesterday, nobody guessed Rudy Gay correctly, so let's get back on track to close out the week by right now liking this video and commenting your top value play down below. But even when everything breaks right before doing the Four Corners, we've got no time to waste, so let's get right into our first corner of the top owned plays, starting with D'Angelo Russell in a game versus Phoenix. There's 110.5 implied points for Golden State. Russell has 34% expected ownership on Draftkings and 21% on FanDuel. Russell's price is reasonable given that he's had over 30% usage in 7 out of his last 8 games, while Phoenix plays with more pace and comparably bad defense. And another top owned play before he was downgraded to doubtful was Giannis Antetokounmpo in this game in Atlanta, where there's 124.3 implied points from Milwaukee. In our last run of ownership, Giannis had 33% expected ownership on Draftkings, while he had 51% on FanDuel. As I just mentioned, Giannis was downgraded to doubtful, which will completely change everything on the slate if he's out, but for now he would be a top play if he's in with a stellar matchup against Atlanta. And on the other side of the same game, John Collins versus Milwaukee looks like he'll be popular today with 113.3 implied points for Atlanta. Collins has 29% expected ownership on Draftkings, while he has 34% on FanDuel. Collins returned to the lineup after his suspension of 35 minutes and 20 shot attempts, and Milwaukee likely give him some looks from deep, something that's been decent for Collins with 47% three-point shooting in his very limited 2019 sample size. And now for our next corner, here are some of the top value plays on the slate, starting with Aaron Baines in a game at Golden State where there's 113.5 implied points for Phoenix. Baines has played 30 or more minutes in his last 2 games, and he should see a chance at similar run with DeAndre Ayton out again with a reasonable price industry-wide. Another top value play looks like Willie Cauley-Stein in that same game versus Phoenix. There's 110.5 implied points for Golden State. Willie has also seen 30-plus minutes in his last 2 games, and while he doesn't have a huge ceiling, he's a top value play at a center position without a ton of must-have options. And our last top value play looks like George Hill in that game versus Atlanta, where there's 124.3 implied points for Milwaukee. Hill should see some unencumbered run in the second unit against Atlanta's porous 111 defensive rating at a price that's appealing, and if Giannis is out, he'll be even more secure with his opportunity with a 1.2 fantasy point per minute average without Giannis and Eric Bledsoe in the lineup. And now for our next corner, here's some of the other top plays on the slate, starting with Trae Young in that game versus Milwaukee. There's 113.3 implied points for Atlanta. Trae is over 60 fantasy points in 3 out of his last 4 games, and while he'll see tough defense, he can get going in any matchup, and he'll be needed to keep the game close as a scorer or as a distributor. And another top play if Giannis is out in particular is Chris Middleton this game in Atlanta, where there's 124.3 implied points for Milwaukee. Middleton was playable if Giannis was in, but if Giannis is out, Middleton becomes a 1.6 fantasy point per minute player without him and Eric Bledsoe in a very winnable matchup against Atlanta's porous defense. And another top play again today looks like Chris Paul in a game at Charlotte, where there's 106.3 implied points for Oklahoma City. Paul went nuts with 54 fantasy points in a double-double yesterday, and now he faces a slower pace but comparably bad Charlotte team with a 110 defensive rating, and Dennis Schroeder downgraded to questionable with Danilo Gallinari still out for this game. And now for our last corner, here are some dart throws who currently look low owned, starting with Brook Lopez in that game in Atlanta, where there's 124.3 implied points for Milwaukee. Brook averages 1.2 fantasy points per minute without Giannis and Eric Bledsoe, and he'll be needed to soak up a ton of usage and rebound opportunities in a highly winnable spot versus Atlanta. Another dart throw I'll look at today is Jimmy Butler in a game versus Indiana, where there's 108 implied points for Miami. This should be a slower defensive-oriented game, but Butler's price is down, and he tends to thrive in gritty half-court environments where his team scores at a slightly less effective clip. And my last of the lower-owned dart throws is Alec Burks in a game versus Phoenix, where there's 110.5 implied points for Golden State. Burks' price is up, and he saw a bit less run last game with Kai Bauman in the rotation for his defense, but Burks could see increased potential with his ownership down after the high-profile underperformance. So that's what it looks like so far for today's rapidly changing slate. So right now, help me out and please hit that like button. And if you want to win that free month of Awesemo Plus, like the video and comment your top value play according to Draftkings salaries down below. And even on potentially chaotic days like this one, the Four Corners is brought to you by SuperDraft, so go check them out right now at superdraft.io. If you use the promo code Awesemo on there, you can get yourself $20 free with any deposit of $100 or more. So go right now to superdraft.io and use that promo code Awesemo to get $20 free instantly. And if you want some more data at your fingertips for this crazy slate, use this promo code Switch and Hedge for half off your first week of Awesemo Plus. Go to awesemo.com/join to use that promo code, or find packages as low as $3.95 a week on there. So go to awesemo.com/join right now and choose a package that'll work for you. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I've had NFL and NBA content coming out today. I've also got my own personal podcast that comes out tomorrow. So check out what I'm doing right now on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'll be back on Live Before Lock later today with your old pal Emax, so tune in then. Of course, I'll be back with you guys on Monday for another Four Corners. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great night and a great weekend. And as always, good luck.